Shalom, giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rechak. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David that are scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. So, in these last days, you got to definitely be on point. Because, man on earth is losing its plot. It's going, they're going dark. And you just can't trust no one. You can't trust nothing. You can only trust, our inner circle, of course. But outside of that, you can't trust nothing out here. And you got to move accordingly. We always remind you, when we exhort, when we, admonish you in these different videos, one of the main focuses is being circumspect. Constantly, watching your surroundings, watching out, especially for your children. You definitely want to be circumspect when it comes to your children, first and foremost, because, it's getting out of hand out here. So over in New York, in Coney Island, this guy decided to just randomly try to snatch up, a 6-year-old little boy, right in proximity of the parents. So this guy, he didn't even care, man. So he was willing to do this in public, in proximity of the boy's parents. So, warning, right? This is this is some kind of content that, it'll probably get you boiling and fired up. But these are the times that we're living in, that we're coming into. All right. So let me play it and then we'll get to the scriptures. I'm not going to make this a super long video, but just knowing the times we're in, you brothers and even you sisters out there, be on point.
Oh my God! Nah, he's wildin'.
So what was it that you saw?
So when we pulled up, right, to work, North Smiles and Sneakers lady, there was a little boy walking with his mother and his father, and he was, falling behind. So a man came and he was trying to cut him off. And then the little boy was trying to spin off on him. So the man just grabbed him up and started running with the little boy. And then the parents turned and started chasing him. And soon as the parents caught up to the man, that's when the man just threw the little boy, and the parents just chased after the guy, and they caught him.
How fast was the police response to this?
They responded right away. It's an event going on, so there's police everywhere.
All right. And what was your reaction to seeing that?
It was just shocking. I'm a mother myself, so we all ran over, to see what happened.
Do you notice the guy from the area or anything like that?
I'm not from this area, but everyone around say they familiar with the guy. What the? Oh my God! Nah, he's wildin'.
Yeah, come on, man, that's sick. He gonna do it right in front of people. So you see the people on demon timing in these last days, and you can't really trust nothing out here. So, of course, let me start off with the scripture we always go to. And it says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools. And them parents, I'm gonna just keep it 100. They was being foolish, not paying attention to their child, because all it takes is just a few seconds. All it takes is a few seconds, man, and it can happen that quickly. So you got to be on point, man. Don't let them get out of your sight. You don't want them behind you where you can't see them. And that's more than likely what the case was, and why that demon was able to run up on a child and time the whole situation. He grabbed him up, but the parents would, their reflex, they was quick enough to, get on his damn tail. And so, he dropped the child. He threw the child. It's very inhumane, man. One of the things the Lord hates is a man that sheds innocent blood, because children, they're vulnerable. All right. So that's why you gotta, look around, and that's what it means to be circumspect. Circumspect, Greek word is akribos or akribos, and it says exactly, accurately, diligently. All right. And circum basically means around. It basically means around, and spect means to look. All right. So definitely got to be on point, because we're definitely in perilous times. For you, and these women, they're without security. That's why a lot of men, they prey on single women, because, what is she going to do? Some women, yeah, they motherly instinct might kick in, but, you don't have the strength to fight off, these perpetrators out here. So that's why you definitely need, men. So I'm willing to bet if the guy did get caught, a man caught his ass. But that was wild to see. But this is why the scriptures say what it say. This is pretty much an admonition, a warning. All right, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Okay, so let's go from there to 2 Timothy 3, and I'm gonna read it in the I'm gonna read it in the Amplified Bible, and it says 2 Timothy 3:1 in the AMP. It says, "But understand this, that in the last days dangerous times of great distress and trouble will come." And I saw footage of another incident at a subway station where a Jake, and this was in broad day, by the way, a Jake basically tried to abduct a woman. She looked like she was like a Hispanic, one of the Latin tribes, but it was a woman, and he was trying to grab her up, and she was, screaming. And, he was, hardened on her. She couldn't really break away from him like that until a bunch of dudes saw what was happening, and they ran over there, and they ended up, getting the dude. And she was able to break free once the guys came to her rescue, and they, beat the dude up while she was able to get away. You could see the distress on her face, the trauma. She was messed up, but we're living in those times, man. So, the vulnerable, the weak, you're in danger. So that's why it's important, really you should be home. If you ain't got nowhere important to be outside of your home, you should just be at home. All right. And this is why we say you women, you need husbands, because the prophecy states that women are going to mourn not having any helpers, no one to secure and protect you. It's getting wild out here, man. Prisons releasing guys, convicts, guys with certain violent offenses. But meanwhile, Trump is focused on gathering immigrants. So where's ICE gathering up these traffickers and these PDF files? All right, what about them? Why they not being rounded up and sent to alligator Alcatraz? You know, these weirdos that's doing these things, that should be the ones being gathered up and being punished. But you taking Cubans and Nicaraguans and Colombians and you shipping them over to freaking Sudan and stuff like that. That's cruel. And they just coming over here to work, but you got motherfuckers like this going around abducting children, and he's right here in Babylon. So what are they gonna do with him? This is one of the reasons why this place gotta go, man. But anyway, getting back to it, first verse it says, "But understand this, that in the last days, dangerous times of great distress and trouble will come. Difficult days that will be hard to bear. For people will be lovers of self, narcissistic and self-focused, lovers of money, impelled by greed." That's why I said in 1 Timothy 6, the love of money is the root of all evil. And that's, one of the reasons why an individual would even be a part of such an evil industry as, the trafficking industry. You abducting children or women and you selling them into trafficking rings. All right. Well, you got to be a lover of money to be a part of that. And you also have to be a very inhumane individual. Okay. Because it says boastful, arrogant, revilers, disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy, and profane. And they will be unloving, devoid of natural human affection, callous and inhumane. And that's what we're dealing with. That's why the love of many is waxing cold, because iniquity is abounding. People don't care anymore. No self-control. Irreconcilable, malicious gossips, devoid of self-control. Intemperate, immoral, brutal, haters of good, traitors, reckless, conceited, lovers of sensual pleasure rather than lovers of the Most High. So this is what we're dealing with in these last days. All right. So you got to be very careful. You can't trust anything. So let's go from there, because the law, according to the law, it's a capital offense to abduct or kidnap someone, especially for the purpose of commerce, trafficking. And even this society was built on trafficking. All right, who did they traffic? They trafficked Israel. So he's the biggest thief on the planet Earth, because he stole us and brought us to the side of the world and got rich. So he's the ultimate thief. But let me get the law on it. Exodus 21:16. And it says, and this is in the AMP as well, it says, "Whoever kidnaps a man or a woman or even a child for that matter, whether he sells him or is found with them in his possession, must be put to death." So that's a capital offense right there. You got put to death if you did that. Okay, let me read it in the NLT. It says kidnappers must be put to death, whether they are caught in possession of their victims or have already sold them as slaves. And the parents wouldn't have done nothing wrong if they would have put his spirit off the earth. All right. Well, mainly the father. Okay. If they would have sent his ass to the third heaven, they wouldn't have done nothing worthy of punishment, because really what they would have done was put away the evil. But are we expecting Esau to do the right thing? Nah. That's why everything is upside down. All right. The scriptures say that the law slack and judgment never goes forth. But you got traffickers, you got you know, murderers of children, you know, PDFs. Like all of a sudden, the Epstein files just vanishes. Now there's no such list of all the people that participated, in that whole situation. And then they want to put out this footage, and they just playing mind games with the people. This is another way of Esau trying to, he's pretty much trying to, watch out for his own self, But you devils ain't innocent. There's a lot of wicked shit that we know that you are involved in or have been involved in, that you trying to keep away from the public, but we already know how that work. And the Most High, he beholds all secret things, man. His eyes are in every place, beholding the good and the evil. And he's gonna reward all you devils at the top, for all your works. So, yeah, the law condemns you to death when you abduct people. All right, because it's a wicked business that only people that love money and covet, there's some people without humanity with no control, they'll get into that. Sirach 27:1, it says, many have sinned for a small matter, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so doeth sin stick close between buying and selling, or commerce. So you have men who will do it with people, actual humans, children, babies, put them on the market and harvest their organs, or use them as slaves. Is evil, man. Let's get I think it's another one in Deuteronomy. It is Deuteronomy 24. Yep, Deuteronomy 24:7, and it says, if anyone kidnaps, this is in the NLT, if anyone kidnaps a fellow Israelite and treats him as a slave or sells him, the kidnapper must die. In this way, you will purge the evil from among you. All right, so they send this guy to the spiritual realm, or better yet, they catch this dude and they put him in a prison. He's not finna get no special treatment. He's not finna go into protective custody or nothing like that. So more than likely, the guys on the inside, they'll know what his offense is, and they usually handle these type of individuals. All right, you try to abduct a baby, you try to take a kid, yeah, they straighten them out. All right, straight up torture up in there, man. All right, and hey, judgment is judgment at the end of the day. You do evil, you do wrong, shall receive for the. Matter of fact, let me get that. So hopefully they got his ass, man. Because I don't know what I'd do if that was my child. Colossians 3:25, it says, but he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he have done, and there is no respect of persons. All right. So, yeah, man, y'all be careful out there and be circumspect. Be on point. Don't have your children, behind you. All right, especially not in these times. Have them with you at all times, if possible. All right, especially if y'all in public where there's people, and have them where your eyes can see them. There's another reason why Esau be like, you know what? Well, hey, this is a perfect excuse to put biometrical devices on people so that people can't face these type of situations. You know? Everybody, hey, we have a solution. And get everybody to take that damn C-hip. You know, treat everybody need to be treated like missing pets, and put these devices in them so you could be monitored, you could be located and traced. We could track you down, or we could track your child down and find them in a matter of seconds. You know, so this gives him another reason. You know, we're not ignorant of Shaitan's devices. So, like I said, I'm not gonna make this long, but I had to do a response to this. All right, and hey, with that, then we give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And until the next lesson, Shalom.